So I did a Whoopsie-Doodle. Hi. Um, I recorded 50 minutes worth of footage of me playing Lunacid without audio because I forgot that whenever I unplug my mic from my laptop and then I open up OBS again, even if I have plugged it back in, the mic isn't plugged in. So I'm gonna talk over this fucking um yeah. So this is me being scared and also just kind of reaffiliating myself with the controls. I've been playing a lot of like Metroidvanias lately. Grime, replaying Hollow Knight, Salt and Sanctuary for the first time. And so this whole control scheme was pretty unfamiliar for me, especially since I'm using mouse and keyboard. The only non like 2D platformer I've played recently is Splatoon 3, which I play with a controller, unlike the other three games. So even that wasn't similar enough for me to have a thing. This area is scary. You're not really gonna get that from this fucking. I would like to formally apologize. So here I go into the Sanguine Sea, cool area. I missed a few items here. I missed a Dark Rapier, which isn't super relevant, and I missed a spell to summon a fairy, which ends up being extremely important. Uh, Splatoon 3 is out. It's good. I made a video on it. I'm going to make another video called I Was Wrong About the Tri-Stringer because I thought it was a bad weapon after using it, 4 times. But that was incorrect. Oh yeah, here's me struggling because the hitbox when this thing dies stays as tall as it was, so it wouldn't let me move forward. Um, I was wrong about the tri-stringer. It's a good weapon. I was just using it wrong. It's not meant for like offense or super inking territory. It's like a area of denial disruption weapon. You like support your allies by disrupting opponents is what it's for. So I was wrong. And I'm going to make a video called I Was Wrong About the Tri-Stringer and go into more detail about why it is actually a good weapon and I was just using it wrong and how it just is for a specific play style. But you're not here to watch me talk about Splatoon 3. You're here to watch me play this game. And realistically, you were here to watch me play it and see my first impressions on it, and you're not getting those anymore because I forgot the audio. And that's on me. It is. And I'm embarrassed in real life. Um, yeah, I picked this game up again. I dropped it for probably about like, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks. Uh, I knew there was a new content update coming soon, and the area that I was in, the accursed tomb, is scary and I don't like it. So I wasn't playing it because I didn't want to be there. But now I'm playing it again because the new castle area dropped, and this is just me exploring a little bit before I decide to explore. There's the fairy spell. This fairy spell is really good. Essentially, what it does is summons a little Navi from Zelda looking fairy that flies around. It's sort of an upgrade to the ghost light spell from the beginning of the game because it also provides light, but the fairies also shoot lasers, which is cool. It's a great spell that you'll see me use soon. Um, there's another item in this area I got called the Dark Rapier that I didn't use at all. I might try it out later, but I never felt like I had a great time to test it out because soon after I get it, I'm going to fight a mini boss. And the Accursed Tomb, like I said, is very scary and I hate being there. Um, Hollow Knight is such a good game. Hollow Knight and Salt and Sanctuary, two other games I've been playing, are pretty similar to this game. This game isn't quite a Metroidvania just because I feel like it's not enough to just find a key to unlock a door. and backtrack to that door in a Metroidvania, I feel like you need to be getting new abilities, you know? Like, I don't know. If you don't change, like, if you don't get new abilities, it doesn't feel like a Metroidvania. I don't need to go into that much more detail about it, but like Metroid, you get different weapons for opening different doors, and those are kind of just glorified keys, but they all alter like how you fight. You get new platforming abilities like space jump, speed boost, etc. And then like Symphony of the Night has more stuff where it's just you get an item that lets you open certain doors, because most of like the combat changes come from either spells that don't actually affect how you explore, or weapons that just drop from enemies or can be bought aren't really like progression. But you also get like, the double jump. Dawn of Sorrow has the Griffin jump. Symphony of the Night, you have all those transformations. So like, I feel like for it to be a Metroidvania, you need new abilities. Salt and Sanctuary kind of has new abilities. I'm like 5 hours into the game and I've only found like 2 upgrades, but it does do something I really like that I see a lot in Dark Souls games, which is like opening shortcuts in creative ways. Like you activate an elevator that lowers you into an earlier area of the game, and now you can like, I feel like shortcuts are really important in these kinds of games. There are some Metroidvanias that like don't do a good job of looping. I think that's something Super Metroid always did well, is that the world feels very connected. Did I fight the demon already? No, okay. Down here is the Dark Rapier in this little pool of blood. And I wouldn't say this is a Metroidvania. I mean, there are some spells that unlock certain areas, but none of them are necessary. You never need new abilities to progress in this game. Salt and Sanctuary, you do get some. You get like these brands. Like one of them lets you flip gravity, but only when you interact with certain altars, which I think is kind of lame. Here's the castle area, by the way. I have been to these doors before, but this is the first time that I ever get to go in, which is cool, because I end up really liking this area. When I actually explore it with working audio, you'll be able to hear the music, which is really good. This is a cool area. I like this fountain. I like the color scheme. It's not super dark, but also there's like this weird fog and the blue torches. It's cool. Those enemies that you just saw, the floating pink balls, are called phantoms. They are immune to physical attacks, which I didn't find out immediately. So you gotta use magic to kill them. I think they're a cool enemy. Oh, you can't even just use magic. You have to use attacks that deal blood damage, which I thought was a neat way to handle ghost enemies. Because, a lot of games will have enemies that need to be defeated in specific ways, but less customizable movesets, if that makes sense. Like, for example, in Final Fantasy III, there's a dungeon where you have to cast the mini spell on yourself to, like, get into it. And while you're tiny, all your attacks deal 1 damage because you're so small that you're just not strong anymore, which I guess makes sense. But you have to spend the entire dungeon only using magic. And unless you have a full party of mages, which would be a bad idea generally, then you have to change your party to a full party of mages. Which means that for the length of an entire dungeon, you're not leveling up the like intended party jobs. It's dumb. Final Fantasy IV is a little bit better because you don't have to change jobs. So when you go into the magnetic cave and you can't have metal armor equipped, or you're stunned for the length of the battle, at least then you have like dedicated mages and monks who aren't using metal equipment to help you out. But usually I don't like it, but here, because you can have 2 weapons and 2 spells equipped, I don't know, it feels more fair. Here, I'm going back out. I just kind of popped into the castle to say hello. Um, I don't think this game is really a Metroidvania. I would argue I was first made like really aware of Kingsfield from an Iron Pineapple video. Good content creator. Uh, and he calls them Metroidvanias because there's a lot of like interconnected worlds, backtracking and stuff. But you only ever backtrack just because you have a new key. And I really don't, like I said, I don't feel like that's a Metroidvania. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, they all have level design like that where things loop back in. Either you activate an elevator that wasn't activated before and takes you back to like a save point, or you unlock a door, or you open a gate, or you lower a bridge. I like that game design a lot because it also means that unlike fucking Dark Souls 3, you don't need to have a save point every 10 seconds. You can have one save point that branches off into like a looping area. But I also feel like the looping thing can kind of make games feel more linear, if that makes sense. Metroid Dread is a good example because every time you get a new ability, the game drops you into like exactly the area you need to use it and it takes you back onto the main path. So it's almost impossible to get lost in Metroid Dread. And honestly, the way the game loops, it can be kind of hard to explore and go off the beaten path, especially because there are certain areas where there's like one-way doors. So you look at the map and it's like, oh, I'll go this way. And then you hit a one-way dead end and it's like, oh, cool. This game, as far as I can tell, doesn't have any of those. It does a pretty good job of having a looping design, like the river passage in Fetid Mire was a good example, where you come into Fetid Mire, there's a save point to the right, you can turn around to leave. To the left is an opening, and straight ahead is a gate. So there's only one way you can explore, but you explore a little bit and you open that closed gate. And now, you can go left again. Oh, fuck this guy. Just watching this footage actually does kind of wig me out a little bit. I don't like this. It moves so fast. I never feel fully safe from it. It shakes the screen. The way it moves is fucking gross. It's this attack is scary to look at. Having a ranged weapon that deals decent damage is the reason that I live, I think, because I really only get hit once since I'm able to move away the whole time. If I was using a melee weapon, I don't think I would have been as lucky, you know? God, I don't like the way it attacks because it's like it's being carried forward from the momentum of dragging itself along the floor, and it's got that long neck. Ugh. Ugh. I hate this fucking thing. I don't like this thing at all. Ugh. I mean, and I love it. It's a great design, and it's great because I hate it. Um, well, I actually got kind of scared. I jumped in to get the item, and that fire came off, and I was like, oh shit. Um, Everyone should play Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight isn't like a Dark Souls. I've seen people call it a Souls-like. I don't think it can be a Souls-like if you don't level up. I think it is way closer to a Metroid, like a traditional Metroidvania, than it is to a Souls-like. Sultan Sanctuary is way closer to a Souls-like, though, than it is a Metroidvania. It's more linear. You do get some new abilities, like eventually you get the ability to wall jump, but it's kind of sparse. It's a game that's way more focused on combat and like slow-paced, methodical exploration and leveling up. And Grime is kind of similar. It's got a more complex moveset than Hollow Knight. You do get new abilities like an air dash and this really cool ability to like pull certain terrain and enemies towards you. And then you get an upgraded version where you can pull yourself towards stuff. But I don't know. Back to the castle. I defeated the Abyssal Demon and I just kind of wanted to save. I felt legitimately shaken by the Abyssal Demon. It was stressful to fight, even if it looked easy, because I didn't like fighting it. So here's these ghosts. The ability to shoot your own blood out to deal damage while also taking damage is very Bloodborne. I'm surprised that there wasn't like a bloodletting item that had this function as like one of those like spell tools that scaled with arcane in Bloodborne. That would have been. Oh, here's a guy. I was kind of scared this was going to be an enemy, but no. Garrett the Hound. He calls me a little lambkin. I don't know why you're going to kill the lord of this castle, but I'm going to help you out because you were nice to me. I also can't figure it out, though. I'm assuming the way into this castle is either deeper in the Accursed Tombs or in the Forbidden Archives. I spent some time kind of trying to figure out what to do because this door just won't open for me. I deadass don't know if I read this. I do. Yeah, cattle cells. Cattle is a living thing you own, and cells are usually reserved for humans. So that kind of phrasing makes me worried that in there is going to be like a slave labor prison area, which I'm not looking forward to. I thought I could jump up here and I can't. One kind of issue I have with this game is I feel like there's like 3 good weapons in it. Like the double crossbow, this sword, the iron club because of the damage it does are all really good. But the rapiers, I guess they're really fast, which is good. You can charge your attacks quickly and they have decent range, but like the spear's not that good because it doesn't have as much range as you'd think it would. The other swords aren't that good. Any slow weapons pale in comparison to the iron club. And, there's 2 different weapons in the Sanguine Sea, and I don't end up using either of them because the elven longsword just does good-ass damage. I think this game's setting would be cool for a D&D campaign. Like a giant multi-tiered well full of eldritch horrors that people have just sort of been throwing shit into and forgetting about it for centuries. That's a cool setting. I like this game. This is a good game. I'm really nervous about going into the Accursed Tomb again, so I dump a bunch of points into defense. I think I take in this like 50-minute play session, I take my health from 580 to 700, which is a pretty big jump. But I don't want to go back to the tomb. Without the sound design, it probably won't be that scary, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Now, the level design of the Accursed Tomb is good and cool. There's these 3 giant, like, furnaces that you have to light that will, like, steadily light the area up more and more. So I pull up a map because I'm scared as hell to explore this area. I find one of them right away, which is nice. Catacombs, I don't go down there because I'm scared of them. All of the torches in this area look like the eyes of distant skeletons, and it is frightening, and I hate it. I'm looking at the map now, but there are also times where I become completely still because I heard an unfamiliar noise and I was too scared to move forward. Let's see, here is where I get that fairy. And I think I also equipped a ghost light, which was my fucking best friend in the Temple of Silence. Whoop. Whoop. It's not enough light. I feel like I need to have 4 of them active to get enough light. Ugh. Yeah, I get very quickly overwhelmed. I didn't realize there were 3 of them in here. And the scariest part is that I didn't know they could curse me. And then this happens. I don't know what this is. I was cursed, so I couldn't attack, and it was dark, and I was just sort of running around while the cursed paintings made weird noises at me. And then I start being able to attack again, and the lights don't come back on. And I wasn't sure if there was another painting I missed, so I'm just sort of, ooh, this is me panicking. What you are seeing is real human fear. And then it comes back. I'll never stop being bothered by the fact that it says elfin longsword. I kind of am hoping that whoever is programming this game is not a native English speaker, because, I mean, I guess elven is like made up stuff that J.R.R. Tolkien did, so elfin could actually be correct everywhere except the UK and subsequently America. I don't know. Here's the fairy. They also provide light. They're really cute. And this is honestly a great spell. They shoot super powerful magic lasers. They provide light. And they provide moral support. But you can see me freaking out because one thing that they do that sucks is the range for them to detect enemies is so big that they detect enemies and seek them out when I can't see them. And that sucks because I'll hear them like get alerted by an enemy and start shooting at them and freak out, and they're shooting into the floor. Yeah, so I kind of just dick around for a while in the catacombs trying to follow a map that I'm not good at reading. I'm getting pizza later. That's going to be cool. There's this place in this little town near me called Third Base, which is a funny name because their slogan is the last stop before home, which is actually clever. But Third Base is like, damn, this is where you go to get your pussy ate. It just feels like that's the name of like, oh yeah, and that happens. And look at that bloodborne ass freak. They are immune to physical damage, so only magic and like fire can hurt them. And they're very scary. There's another one like beneath us that my fairy starts firing at, which you can see scares the fuck out of me because I'm like, and look, it just leaves. Why is it going away? The AI of the fairies is not, they're not loyal. I kind of am just like going in this direction because I don't want to keep summoning fairies that leave. I don't actually know what a Mare is, because the weird bloodborne amygdala creatures are called like Migos, I think. There's like also skeletons and cursed paintings. So whatever the fuck a Mare is, I didn't find out in this play session. There it is again. My fairies just run off to fight something that I can't see. I don't even know what a survey banner is. I should have checked while I was playing. I never do. I was so freaked out about like how I felt all the relief of the fairy spell turning out to be really useful, and then all the disappointment that they keep running away from me, that I was just sort of discombobulated as I explored this area. Oh, there actually, something that is a little bit Metroidvania is, there is a, where is it? There's a spell called Barrier that summons like a wall of stone. Yes. There are holes in the wall that you can't reach, and one of the Prometheus pyres is behind one of those holes. And the only way you can get up there is either by using the Barrier spell or a different spell called Tombstone, which pops up a little tombstone. So that is neat, that there are like spells that you need to progress. This is a good game. I think it's lame that there aren't more like reach weapons in this game, you know? Like, I remember getting a soldier spear pretty early on, but it didn't really have more range than my other weapons and was weaker, so I didn't end up using it much at all. This didn't work out how I wanted it to. And then I ran out of magic. It would have been nice either if that spear was like upgradable or if there was another one. I think there's a halberd deeper in the Accursed Tomb. I like reach weapons. Normally, I am a pretty defensive player. Like, that's why once I figured out the Stringer and Splatoon, I really like it. Before that, I used the umbrella weapon, the Splatbrella, which you can like unfold the umbrella to use it as a shield. Generally, I either... Oh, there's a skeleton. And it made scary noises. I didn't like it. Its AI is kind of caught on the wall, which was funny. In D&D, I usually play either clerics, paladins, or rangers. Rangers because I like archery play styles. Clerics and paladins because they get armor and healing capabilities. Just because generally in games like that are team based, I like to either be support or like defense. The torch does so little damage. But also the cursed painting does so little damage. So we kind of just take turns whacking each other. Abyss. I was 100% sure there was some kind of enemy waiting for me down there, even though this is an area I've already been to. There's nothing down there. But yeah, if there was a spear in this game, that would be nice. Because I like to play defensively, and ranged melee weapons are good for playing defensively. Like, that's why I used the crossbow for like the whole time I was in the woods, is because it's defensive to just attack from afar. Another of the Prometheus Pyres, which is guarded by like 4 skeletons. I like the design of the Prometheus Pyre. It's very reminiscent of the... I don't remember what it was called, but like the central engine of Broom Tower in Dark Souls 2, like activating that and causing all the mechanisms to turn on. And look, now it's lighter here, and I don't need the torch anymore. I can't tell you the amount of relief that filled my body. And here I make a crucial mistake. I just walked past a room with a spell I need and jumped off. That was stupid of me. So yeah, now I am actually just going to kind of skip around because I spent a lot of time wandering around looking for the third Prometheus Pyre, not realizing that the lights turning on meant I had found them all. God, those things are freaky looking motherfuckers. Oof. I spend a long time just wandering around looking for something that I've already found and activated. I level up my health some more, and then I pull this map up. This is a cool map. Somebody in the community made it, and I thank them for it. And I kind of... My plan... I talk about my plan, and here's where another whoopsie happens, which is that I forget to take this down. And I leave this map up and start playing the game again. Which is embarrassing because you miss the rest of that area. But so pretty much to sum up what happened, little recap. I went to that room that I missed where there is a lightning spell, which is like the fire spear and the ice spear. It's just a lightning version of that. It shoots a lightning projectile. But there are special doors deeper in the Accursed Tomb that you can use lightning on to open. So I, vow to do that later. And then I talk to the demon scythe girl. She has a location that she appears in within the tomb. She doesn't make a noise or anything, so I saw her out of the corner of my eye and I freaked the fuck out. And then I talk to her. She's nice. She likes to hang out in the tomb because she's a demon and she's attracted to death. And she also offers some lore that the scythe she has is a hand-me-down from the Grim Reaper, which is hilarious. I actually have grown to really like the cute little anime girl in this terrifying world. I also really like that she's a reference to the mysterious scythe-wielding demon woman from Shadow Tower Abyss, another game that I was made aware of by Iron Pineapple. And then I explore for a while, and none of it, it's all hidden behind that picture of a map. So, this was one, I'm going to title this episode The Big Whoopsie-Doodle, because not only did I forget to record audio, but I left the map up for like 8 minutes while I played the game. So, yeah, next time I play this game, I'm gonna explore deeper into the catacombs with my new spell and the new, like, light to see with. And now that I know I can jump off barrier, I can go back to the Hollow Basin and get to the Forbidden Archives whenever I damn well please. And I'm pretty sure that's where the key to the castle is gonna be, because I don't know where else it could be. It's weird that the castle area is there, and I walked right in and I couldn't fucking get in there. But I got to meet Garrett the Hound, and he called me a lambkin, and that was cute. The only other video game character who called me a lambkin was Elden Ring Vare, and he's a twisted motherfucker that I don't like very much. So I'm hoping Garrett doesn't turn out to also be bad. Yeah, I really appreciate the character designs in this game. How do I go back? 10. That's the map again. Here's me realizing you would be hearing me go, oh fuck, because I left the map up. Yeah, I really like her design. I really love this design here. It's got everything, the eyes in a void, the witch's hat, little floaty. Her design is cute. I don't remember what I'm saying here. I remember that I'm just kind of wandering around rambling about how mad I am at myself. And then I climb this pillar out of frustration. So yeah, you didn't miss much. Because even if there had been audio, the last 10-15 minutes were either covered by a map or me just freaking out of frustration. So yeah, kind of an unconventional video, huh? Here's my OBS screen. Yeah, next time I play, I will make sure to remember to record audio, because I can't see myself making this fuck up twice. Bye.